It's Becky. I'm back with another Homeschool Heart to Heart video for you guys. This is kind of a series that I have created and have been continuing to add to over time. So if you missed any of the other videos in this series, I will link my homeschooling playlist down below for you guys so you can watch those and any other of my homeschool videos. But in this video, I talked before about the things that I missed about public school. And if you don't know, I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old daughter, and my 12-year-old was in public school until about the middle of 4th grade. So I've had the experience of her being in public school, and I now have the experience of having her home and then also homeschooling her sister from kindergarten and on. So I've kind of had both sides of the spectrum. I filmed that video just kind of sharing some things with you guys about what I do miss about public school. There's quite a few things I miss, but I wanted to make this video so that you also hear my side of like what I love about homeschooling. And that way, if you're thinking about homeschooling, you can kind of see the pros and cons from that end, or if you already homeschool, you can just kind of hear me rattle on about what I love about it and what I loved about public school. So other than the safety reasons and the reasons why we took her out, my oldest daughter out of public school, and that video is in the homeschooling playlist as well about why we chose to homeschool. Other than those reasons, which I don't really want to go into in this video, the main thing for me is just being with my kids all day. And that doesn't always mean it's easy when you're a stay-at-home mom, and I do YouTube and I work for a nonprofit from home now too. It's not that it's easy doing all that and having people home and having to try to figure out how to do it all. It's not easy, but I love the fact that my kids are home and I see them all day, every day. And when they're in public school, you send them off at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you see them later on 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And by the time they get home from school, they do homework, you cook dinner, they have baths or showers, the day's over. And that's, a good 8 or 9 months out of the year that they're doing that while they're in school. And I'm so blessed to be able to stay home and see them every day and be part of their learning experience and have the flexibility to be able to say, hey, you know what, let's go to the zoo today, or let's go to the park. And switch our schedule around so that we can go out and still focus on the fact that we are a family, not just homeschoolers. And I, as their mom, am able to see most of their childhood. I don't have to spend all that time away from them like they would if they were in public school. I get to be there with them every day, and I get to hear all those funny things that they say that I might have missed if they were in public school. And that for me is the biggest thing. And I know as soon as that we brought my oldest daughter home from public school and started homeschooling, her and her sister instantly became closer. They're built-in best friends. They see each other all day. They learn together in the same environment. And that doesn't mean they always get along, because they don't. But they instantly became closer. And I don't really know if that's just because they were together all day or what. But that, I noticed immediately, their bond was strengthened by my oldest being home at the same time as my youngest, and then doing school together. So that is like the first thing I love about homeschooling. The second thing is just being able to choose the curriculum that I want for them, and have the flexibility to change it if I don't like it. In public school, they're not allowed to teach Bible unless you're going to a Christian school or something. They're not allowed to teach the Bible. They're not allowed to have prayer. They're not allowed to say God or Jesus. They're not allowed to say Christmas party. All these different things that they can't do now because everybody has to be so perfect and politically correct all the time. I can do that. I can choose whatever I want for them. And even if you're not a Christian and you don't want Bible to be part of your homeschool curriculum, you still, as the parent, get to choose what they learn, when they learn it, and what curriculum you choose to use. So I think that's a big thing, and I just have loved the fact that if something's not working for one or both of the girls, I can change it. And I think that's an amazing benefit of homeschooling, that a lot of times in public school they get kind of pigeonholed into a certain curriculum and a certain teaching method, and they have to kind of follow along that style because that's what public schools do. They follow along with what the school board tells them to do, and your child might not learn that way. They might not understand that concept. They might miss out on something. So being able to be their teacher and their mom, I am invested in their education from love and then from an educational standpoint. I want to make sure they get the best education they get, and I love them, and so I'm going to work my hardest to make sure that I'm teaching to the style that they need to be taught at and with. And I've talked about that before in one of my other videos in my Homeschool Heart to Heart series, talking about how you are smart enough to teach your child because you love them. You have their best interest at heart as their parent and as their homeschooling parent. And so you're going to change what doesn't work for them. You're going to get them a private tutor if they need one. You're going to do all those things to make sure that there are no or as few gaps in their education as possible because you're their parent. So that's a huge benefit for me as a homeschooling parent. On a silly note, one thing I love is not having to wait in the carpool line. I know that's silly, but when my oldest daughter was in public school, I had my youngest daughter at home with me. You know, we'd be out going to the grocery, and I always have to rush and get home, put the groceries up, and go get in the carpool line, because I knew if I wasn't at the front of that line, I was going to be there for an hour and a half. So that's just a benefit that I enjoy, just the silly benefit of how there's not that chunk of my afternoon that's gone from sitting in the car waiting to pick up my oldest daughter from school. And I personally, growing up, always wanted to be a teacher. Well, I say I always wanted to be a teacher. I also wanted to be a marine biologist, but I am afraid of water. I don't swim, I don't wear bathing suits, and I don't live near the ocean, so I would have to move and all this stuff. So the marine biology phase didn't last very long. But I always had thought I would love to be a teacher. I had no idea I would actually be teaching my own children. That's definitely a path that I did not intend to take. I did go to college. I got a degree in office management, but I really didn't ever use that degree. And I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had no clue when I started being a stay-at-home mom that I was ever going to be a homeschooling mom too. It's an awesome path that I've been on, an awesome journey, but I just love being able to be their teacher. I love being able to plan fun things for them, and we do fun crafts and lesson plans for holidays and things like that. You all have probably seen some of those if you've watched my videos. I showed my Easter unit study we did. I showed was it St. Patrick's Day? Oh, Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, Easter. I might not have showed the Christmas one, but we did do a Christmas unit study. I plan all kinds of field trips for them. We actually just took a field trip last week to the post office, which was fun. So I really enjoy that. The teacher in me and the pen hoarder and post-it note hoarder in me loves being able to plan things and get supplies and be their teacher and their mom. And I just think overall it's made the girls closer, and it's made me closer with both of them. I think we're really just best friends. And I know people say that you can't be your child's best friend. I know what they mean. Like, you have to still be their disciplinarian. You still have to be a parent. You can't be their friend to the point that you let them do whatever. But you can still be their best friend and be a good disciplinarian and be a good parent, because my mom was for me, and I turned out okay. And I turned out to be, you know, a good person and a Christian, and we have a really good relationship still. And I have that with my girls, and I think I can still do both. I know that I can still be their best friend and their parent and do a good job at both. And it's just brought us really all closer. It's really fun, and again, it's not easy. There are some days when I want to pull my hair out because I'm sitting there looking at them, like working on something with them, and I'm thinking, there's dishes in the sink, and there's laundry in the washer, and there's dog hair on the floor. Like, I'm looking at all this stuff, and it is very overwhelming at times, but the benefits far outweigh the downfalls, and it is a learning process. It is something I think that you will come into your own with the longer you do it, and the more you realize that, like I said, you are able and capable and smart enough to teach your kids because you love them, and that ultimately is going to give you the confidence I think that you need to carry on. But then also, if you find that it's not working for your kid or for you, that maybe there's other options for you, like a full-time private tutor or a private school or a charter school. There's all different types of options. And again, that's another benefit of homeschooling. But I have loved being able to be my girls' teacher, their mom, and their best friend. And I hope that we're always best friends, and that our relationship will continue to grow as we learn and live together every day. As corny as that sounds, it's the truth. So those are my feelings of the benefits of homeschooling, why I love homeschooling, and why we will continue to homeschool. Now, if anything changes, like I said, I will have to reevaluate. Every year we reevaluate and think, are we going to do it next year? Is it working for the kids? So far, it's been working really well for everybody. We've made changes where we need to, and we will continue to make changes where we need to. But I just want to give you all that perspective. So the end of what I miss from public school, but then what I love about homeschooling, and let you be the one, if you're making a decision to homeschool, let those be some things for you to think about. And I hope this was helpful to you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. And like I said, I'll link my homeschooling playlist down below. I have lots of videos showing different curriculums and lesson plans, and then other videos in this Homeschool Heart-to-Heart series that you might find useful. Specifically the one about you are smart enough to homeschool your kids. I think that's a really important one. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.